Chase Sr., Harrison Graham here on NBA Now. Let's discuss the Dallas Mavericks at the NBA trade deadline. And Chase, just when you thought nothing was going to happen for Dallas, they acquired JJ Redick.
This is a huge haul for the Dallas Mavericks in terms of player significance, in terms of fit, in terms of need. I absolutely love JJ Redick going to the Mavericks, and he has to be so relieved because his playing time was down in New Orleans under Stan Van Gundy. His numbers were down as well. And this is really the Mavericks making up for trading away Seth Curry. And bringing in Josh Richardson, who has been terrible for this team.
Been better as of late, though.
Been better as of late. But the Mavericks, the point here being is that they have really missed a consistent shooter.
Yes.
JJ Redick can either start or JJ Redick can come in off the bench. Now, is he going to be the prime player that he was a couple of years ago at the Sixers when he was averaging around 17, 18 points per game? Probably not. But I can guarantee you that his numbers are going to be better than the numbers that he has put up so far this year of a little less than 9 points per game. That three-point percentage, I think it can get up to 38, 39. I think JJ Redick just wasn't happy with the New Orleans Pelicans, with the scheme, with the defensive mentality, with the coach. And now I think this will allow him to just kind of just like be his own player.
And in all reality, regardless of how he felt about the team itself, 36-year-old JJ Redick doesn't make sense on the Pelicans.
No.
He makes sense on a team that's trying to make the playoffs and win right now, which maybe the Mavs aren't a title contender, but they get better with JJ Redick. There's no doubt about that. I'm already envisioning him catching skip passes from Luka Doncic, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch him bury some threes in a Mavericks uniform. So answer this one for us, and we'll continue to discuss this trade. What is your one-word reaction to the Mavericks trading for JJ Redick? Comment that below. How about shooting? Right? Yeah. It's simple, but you needed more shooting. They've missed Seth Curry. Maybe you can view it this way now. The combination of Josh Richardson and JJ Redick outweighs the loss of Curry. Maybe now you can feel that way because I don't think losing James Johnson and Wes Iwundu really is that big of a deal.
I don't think so either. And my one-word reaction to this, sniper. Because JJ Redick can be a catch-and-shoot guy. He can shoot off the dribble. He can also shoot coming off of picks.
Yes.
Which Kristaps Porzingis and him on the outside on dribble handoffs and screens, I'm all for that. So, JJ Redick, like his numbers significantly down this year, but he just wasn't happy with the situation in New Orleans. He said this back in December, quote, "You can tell I'm super excited about it, when talking about Stan Van Gundy coming in as coach. Can't wait for training camp. Like, seriously, how did I end up with this expletive in year 15? I've got to effing do this all over again with Stan. Oh, man." So he might have been somewhat sarcastic, but I actually think JJ Redick was somewhat serious, and I think Stan Van Gundy took it personally, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to play you as much.
I do want to mention, too, that 36% number. Redick was floating 30-31% until like a month ago.
He's also been somewhat hurt, too.
Yeah, he's played a lot better the past month or so, and I think he's getting on the right team at the right time at this point in his career because what do the Mavericks lack as well? Guys who've played a lot of playoff games. JJ Redick has never missed the playoffs before last season. Clippers, Sixers, this guy has always been in the postseason, and with the Mavs ascending right now as the number 7 seed in the Western Conference, they will now add another player who has that playoff experience. Nicolo Melli in the deal. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. I'd be lying if I was like, oh yeah, I've watched a ton of Nicolo Melli. But you get a young, maybe a player that you can develop, which is something the Mavs have had some success with. I would expect a lot of G League opportunity here for him as well. He's kind of a throw-in this trade.
Yeah, he's from Istanbul. So obviously the Mavericks have had a lot of luck and a lot of players internationally who have come to their franchise and they have thrived. I wouldn't be expecting Nicolo Melli to come in and get significant minutes. I think he's more of a G League fit, Harrison. That's a good point there.
Totally agree with that. But when you're trying to keep a guy like Luka and KP long-term, get more international guys. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. Subscribe to our Dallas Mavericks channel. It's Dallas Mavericks Today. You see the link below. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. As stuff happens, we'll cover it here on this channel, just like this video. JJ Redick to the Dallas Mavericks. So if you're watching on our Mavs channel, hit that big red button and subscribe. If you're still live with us on Chat Sports, you see the link on screen. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. Now, I briefly mentioned, Chase, that this is a move that, hey, let's get another piece for the playoffs. So top 5 Mavs on the outside looking in here as they've been slowly climbing up the standings after a really rough start, but they find themselves in the number 7 seed now, and the gap between 4-ish, 3 even, and 7 isn't monumental.
No.
If Luka continues to play well, if KP continues to play well, you add Redick to the mix. Hardaway's been good recently. Brunson's been a great story this year.
He really has.
This is a team, the arrow's pointing up here. Maybe they can get into the top 4 or 5.
The Mavericks are definitely on the uptick, and you can make the argument that earlier on this year in December and January, there wasn't a team hit harder by COVID protocols and the coronavirus.
They had 5 rotation players out for 2.5 weeks.
Exactly. So they were crushed. And Luka, let's be honest, like Luka entered this season, I think he thought the season was going to start in January or February.
He was probably 10 pounds overweight.
Because he was 10 pounds overweight, and his shooting percentages reflect that. He could not buy a bucket from the outside. But you talked about it in the office the other day. He has made significant strides shooting from the outside. And Luka Doncic, he has sneakily entered the MVP conversation. And if they can get into the 4 spot and maybe overtake a Lakers team that's without LeBron and AD, because I just saw LeBron could be out 4 to 6 weeks from when the injury was suffered on Saturday, then the Mavericks are a team that could make a lot of noise in the West.
And don't underestimate Luka's fit with Redick, because Redick is the ideal guy to catch passes from Luka Doncic.
That's why the Steph Curry trade didn't make sense.
And get wide open looks from the outside. What playoff seed do you guys think the Dallas Mavericks will end up with? Number 7 now. I'm going to say 5 or 6. I think the top 4 is going to be a steep hill to climb, but I think they can jump up another spot there. They're playing well. Side note here, too, I think only like 9 of their remaining 25, 30 games, whatever it is, are against teams over 500. Schedule very favorable down the stretch. So I'll say a 5 or 6. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. So we'll kind of circle back to the trade and just kind of give a final recap here and some final thoughts. So you get JJ Redick, Melly, he's a throw-in, whatever. Maybe we spend a couple moments here on the losses. James Johnson, Wes Iwundu in a second. Don't care about the second. It's the NBA. Second-round picks. Maybe 1 out of 10 is worth anything. James Johnson, gritty vet, but just wasn't
way too overpaid.
Yeah, overpaid, wasn't doing much for you. Clearly, Redick's an upgrade. And Wes Iwundu, he's an end-of-a-roster guy. I think this is a huge win for the Mavericks.
Huge win for the Mavericks. And it's one player like JJ Redick who can really add a lot to the depth of this team. And when you just like kind of look and examine the roster, I just like what they're doing and what they have. And also, like, you have an owner who's bought in Mark Cuban. You have one of the best coaches in the league in Rick Carlisle. He's going to find a way to make this work. And from a talent perspective, Chris Stapps, Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Richardson, Luka, Tim Hardaway coming off the bench. Now you have JJ Redick as well. Like, this is a team that I think can contend to get to like the second or third round of the Western Conference playoffs and possibly contend to be a finalist in the conference.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Who won the trade? We'll end on this. Type M for Mavs, type P for Pelicans. I think it's a no-brainer. I think the Mavericks absolutely won this trade.